The sky was far too clear for a land covered in ashes and silence. Kelly's realm lay in the ashes of southern plain, smaller, weaker, his limbs pale and trembling like a stranger wearing his skin. His heart trembled not from pain but from a terrifying realization that he had written as a child. He realized that he was nine. Yet even at that age in previous life, he's never felt this weak. His small hands are trembling. His hands are pale even in the dark ash. He tried to channel mana. Nothing. A shell of power remained, barely enough to fill palm of new hand. He examined the hands carefully. They are trembled. Flickering image from Kaylee's memories. A blade of light, crumbling gods, magic erupting from his fingertips. Everything that made him who he was. Magic that split mountains, the blade that silenced gods, the strength that had led armies was gone. Only memories remained. He lay back in the field of ashes, watching the sky above. The blue sky mocked him. Let me die again, he whispered, while thinking that he fainted. A horse wagon coming from far. He stopped when he saw a boy lying on a ground. He shouted, "Hey!" A gruff voice pulled Gales from his fading thoughts. A sharp-eyed man loomed over him. He asked, "Did you run away from fire?" Behind the man, a worn-out wagon braved, filled with chained demi-humans of various races. Their hollow eyes barely reacted to Kaylee's presence. Kaylee realized that he's a slave merchant. Kaylee turned away and said, "Don't bother me." The man clicked his tongue and kicked Kaylee. Slave merchant asked, "Where are your parents?" Kaylee said, "My parents' well-being is none of your business. Worry about your own first." Merchant furiously shouted, "You cheeky little punk!" Slave merchant thought Kaylee was a stray lunatic child and grabbed him by the collar and tossed him to a wagon. The slaves looked at him, confused, but said nothing. Kaylee closed his eyes once more, drifting again into a sudden sleep. Tantil, a city of trade, dust, and shadow, where gold spoke louder than just. But in this place, the most common goods weren't spice or rug. The most common goods are lies. Slave cages stacked near the edge of marketplace, guarded by lazy soldiers and cunning merchants. They reached to the Colosseum, and slaves are stepping out of the wagon. Total 8, grunted the slave merchant, presenting his inventory to Colosseum supervisor, including the place one. The supervisor paused in stained hands and red eyes, inspecting each slave with a practiced eye. The supervisor asked, "What's this?" He replied, "I found him on the way. Look like what?" The supervisor lifted Kaylee's cheek with pen, observing with ash-covered face and lifeless eyes. He said, "He looks like he about to die." Merchant replied, "His black hair, tough breed, no injury. Might not look like much now, but he will last." The supervisor took out his buds. The slave merchant showed hands were cold. They shaking hands with each other while exchanging the same buds they would use every time they met. A dark, mold-covered stone ceiling with dripping moisture. A ball of water prodigy is put to a Kaylee's lip. Kaylee awoke again, not by choice, but by instinct. Something warm slid down his throat. He choked but swallowed. As he opened his eyes, an elven woman gently feeds him. Her face was warm, eyes clouded. She whispered, trembling, "Don't be sick, my child, don't be sick." The elven woman tightly hugged Kaylee as she protecting him. Someone next to him said, "Kid, you must be surprised, but can you stay still for a second?" He was a skinny man with round arms similar to a goat's on his head. "He's a little bloated. Maybe reminded of someone she knows." More COVID entered Kaylee's mouth. He swallowed again. If someone cared enough to feed him, he wouldn't spit it out. A sarcastic voice broke the moment, like you are in a position to pity anyone. The horned man should have missed the barman who just mocked him. The horned man said, "Do you think you can say whatever you want just because you have a mouth?" The barman replied, "I only said the truth." They two rushed towards each other. Other slaves scrambled out of the way. The tension crackles like a fire. When both horned men jumped at the barman, they caused a commotion. Upon Upon hearing the commotion, a armed soldier came running. The soldier saw the fight inside the cage and pounded the bars with his spear. At the moment, the two men finally stepped back. He jabs the spear through the bar, forcing everyone to retreat. The slaves huddled together, fear painting their faces. The goat hornman asked carefully, "What do you mean by that?" Elfman clutches Kaylee's tighter. My child, she murmurs in repetition. The supervisor said, "Think about why the Tantil Colosseum supervisor bought you guys, including those who were about to die." Kaylee's eyes narrowed and said, "Hey." The hornman looked down and replied, "Yeah." Kaylee surprisingly asked, "Is this Tantil? Is there a Colosseum in Tantil?" The hornman replied, "Yeah, Tantil is known for its Colosseum." "Well, little guy, but don't worry, they don't make kids fight. Probably have to run some errands." But Kaylee wasn't listening anymore. Kaylee was thinking Tantil was the name of land where he had first killed a god. When gods and humans were fighting against each other, there was a god called Jareth of Madness on this land. After I killed him, I destroyed his temple that known as a Colosseum even in bad days. But these people rebuilt a Colosseum in that very place. Kaylee bit his lip and thought, "I'm no longer the emperor. He's dead, killed by the ants he trusted most."
Hi guys, I hope you liked the video. If you have anything, please comment. I will try my best to reach it out. And if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in next episode.